Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Gentlemen, welcome back to the Man Cave. Amen. It's a good space, it's a safe space, it's a space for us to have the kind of conversation that we don't normally have in regular spaces. And therefore, we just want to thank all the persons who have logged on, who will be logging on. We send out invitation, we know a number of men have indicated that they will participate, and therefore it's always good for man to find a little time for themselves, so we can have some conversations that, again, that we don't normally have when other persons are around. It's important, and therefore, let me invite you again. Log on to the Man Cave. We're on right now. We're live. We're rearing to go. We have some issues to deal with, and we want you to be a part of that conversation. Now, to get things started, and we don't want to just, um, I'm a little bit distracted, beg your pardon. I'm going to I'm going to take a rain on that tick. Yeah. So one of the things that's going to happen right now is that we're going to do a little icebreaker. We want to find out, how it was last week. We want to find out some of the things that basically got your intention, got your not your attention, not your intention, your attention. And those will form a part of the moving forward. Yes. We're going to ask for those who are on, and we see a few persons on. We're going to ask that you type in, yes, from last week, your favorite punchline. Yes, we look at man. Yes, we look at man in a holistic way. We look at man in his relationship to woman. We look at, well, we spoke about a number of things. We just put everything on the table so that those who are participating can know that we are we're open to a frank, honest, open discussion. We're open to having the kind of discourse that will allow for man to be. Let me see if I can make an adjustment here. I'm seeing myself sideways, and I'm not sure why. Why am I sideways? No, I am upside down. Okay. Yes. Yes. It's a little better. Let's see if I can get this right. Let's see if I can just put this in this little groove right here and let this stay like this. Yes, no, I'm not falling. I'm not falling. Or should I be a little bit more down? This can work. This looks like it can work. Yeah, it's working. Let's see how this can do this. Yeah, cause we don't want to look lopsided and lean. We don't want to look like we are leaning up on the thing. We want to look, yeah, like things straight. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Man, thing of it straight, straight. Yeah, like an arrow. Yeah. So we just want to share with you. We want to, and we want you to share with us when you talk back to us. Because part of the thing is, we want the collective to drive this discussion. We want the thing that you want to discuss. That's the things that we want to discuss. Those are the things that we will discuss. And therefore, it cannot be a monologue. It has to be a dialogue, and that's what we're about to do. So, for those who are coming on, please join the Man Cave. We're up, we're live, we're running, and we want to have a very robust discussion this week. Yes, in the Man Cave. You can register at that, the blog spot below right there. HTTP colon slash slash man cave podcast dot blogspot.com. And again, there is no subject that is taboo here. Everything that we need to discuss will be discussed here. Okay. Yes, will be discussed here. And we'll have honest, open, frank discussions. We are, however, our ethos is we have a Christian ethos, and therefore, while we are open to the discussion, we want for the language to remain in such a way that would not suggest or contravene any of our principles. And therefore, it's important that we are just open and honest and frank, while of course remaining respectful in our dialogue. So that's what we're about to do. We are not anti-women at any by any stretch of the imagination, no, but we are here to put some of the issues that impact men and women on the table. Issues that sometimes we don't want to talk about, issues that sometimes come up and it's a taboo, it's a white elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about. It's a spider in the corner. We feel like if we don't look at the spider, it won't bother us. So we kind of take our eye off him and kind of look sideways. So yeah, and until we finish our thing. No, we are intended to focus on all the things that impact the lives of men, with the intention that at the end of our discussion series that we would have improved some lives. We'd have some men would have gotten some direction in how they can move forward. Yes. I see Mr. Williams putting up the real thing. Yes, the real purpose man was placed on earth. Yes, we did that last week, and we spoke about that, and we will continue to impact and improve upon that, because we you see, the thing is, um, the real purpose must be our foundation. Yes, we know what other people want to say. Other people we want to change the purpose. Yes, I mean, but we have to remain true to our purpose. We have to remain true to who we are, and it's just a wonderful thing that we continue to be that. You know what I mean? And that's, of course, as Mr. Williams speak for episode, yeah, for episode one. Yeah, man, for real. And that was solid, because a number of persons, they identify those things. Man, the provider, man, the priest, and man, the yeah. Somebody should echo that one. So just put it out there, so we just, yeah, we know that you are there. Peace, provide, and protector. Yeah, man, we know that you're there. We know that you're listening and you're participating. And the intention is to interview some of us. If we are open to that, we would love to interview some of the men, just to have a discussion. And we keep it in such a way that it kind of remain anonymous, so persons won't be able to pick out anything and say, hey, are you go over the and talk or some things, Gotta know the things, so we can actually move forward. Yes, so that is part of the thing that we discussed last week, which was important. Men have some specific roles to play, and we would suggest to all the men on this line, all the men are in Jamaican parlance, all the man them. Yeah, okay, so the man them is the plural. It's a the patois. It's a colloquial plural to men. That's what I mean. So when I say men, we say the man them. Yeah, which means men. So the man them, the men. Yes. We want us to be firm in those areas. Be firm in those areas. Yes. Um, Again, if you follow the tag, you will see that if you have a story that can relate to the topic, yeah, we will be willing to share it with us. We'll have the discussion. We'll have it. We'll ask the questions, so other men can learn. The thing is, we need to also learn from each other. Nobody on this platform, not even me, nobody except God Himself, nobody on earth know the answer to every question in this life. As it relates to relationship, that even worse. Well, women are very difficult to understand. And therefore, what we have to do as men is to pool our resources and learn from each other. So again, welcome, welcome, welcome to the man cave. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We ask that you are free to comment. You're free to put up your comments, and we respond to those comments. You're free to participate in any way that you see fit and desire to participate. That is a part of it, and therefore we want for everybody to participate. I hope it's not a great flow, because sometimes the great flow don't flow. You know. Yeah. But we're back and we're live and we're up and running, and all is well. You know, they can't stop the flow, you know. Maybe somebody try stop the flow of the men, but them can't stop the flow. Please share, please like, please subscribe. That's important. Yeah. Again, our primary focus. And there goes. Oh, some people actually drop off. Okay. We're trusting that they will come back soon, soon, soon. I'm not sure what's happening there. Tech. I don't think the tech have anything else from the group. Okay. All right. All right. So let's man keep saying we're ready. Yes, we are ready. So log on. Yes. Ah, with the major role that man has in every society, it's important that we discuss men health, mental, physical, and otherwise. That is true. Uh, come like a Philip, look, come like a Mr. Williams alone, come my class, you know. What I'm telling you, man. I trust is not Mr. Williams alone come. Yeah, but we have to have that discussion too. Because men are the builders, men are the foundation. Yes, of the society. And basically, there are some things that we must do. And for us to do it well, we must take care of all the things that Mr. Williams um, put up there, all the things that he suggested, all the things that he's saying. It's important. Yes. If we are not mentally well, if we're not physically well, if we're not emotionally well, how effective you think that we are going to be? How effective will we be? That is part and parcel of the challenge. How effective will we be if we are not up and running, you know, and doing the things that God wants us to do? How? How will we be? And that's something that we need to ponder. That's something that we need to get into. That's something that we need to consider deeply. Yes? Men and the importance of men in this, in the development of a society. Some persons would want to articulate and push a particular narrative and a particular position. A number of persons and some persons would have heard me speak about this from time to time. Everybody's talking about them can make it on their own. You know, we don't need nobody. You know, the women say them don't need a man. Them don't need a husband. Them don't need a man. Them don't need nothing. Yes. I will share with you in another series. I will share with you research that shows that the family, the nuclear family structure, is the most solid family structure, and it's the most stable family structure to allow for a country to maximize its opportunity and to maximize its productivity. There are research, and there's one research matter about rules of research. People don't understand now. These matters have been looked at by nations and their planning committees. Just like how we have the PIOJ, they do have their own planning, you know, institutes, and they're looking consistently and continuously at what is the best way forward, what is the best way to get the thing going, what's the best way for persons to be you know doing what they're doing, what's the best way to get people involved, what's the best way of all of these things. And therefore it's important for us to look at and to be certain in ourselves that what we are proposing, that what we are saying, what we are articulating is the way it ought to be. Yes. So all of that information will be made available to you. This is a place where men will learn to read books. Yes, because in order to improve, we have to read. In order to improve, we are going to have some experiences. But our experiences alone, our experiences alone, the sum total of all our experiences, will not necessarily be sufficient for us to answer all the questions in this life. And therefore, what we have to do basically is to deal with some other issues too. Look at what other men are saying. Look at what other persons are doing. Look at what, you know, how the thing working out. A number of those things are important, and we have to be a part of that. Yes. And being a part of that, you know that we have to make the moves. We have to push the narrative. We have not just a narrative, but we have to put the facts on the table so persons can marinate. That persons can see. You understand me? That person can understand fully what is taking place and what needs to happen. I'm a little bit distracted because I'm looking at the numbers and a number of persons had fallen off. So what I'm actually trying to do right now is I'm trying to forward the link um, to a number of persons who would have fallen off, right? So that is basically what I'm doing. So if I'm a little bit distracted, forgive me, and we will see what is going on there. Um, yes. So that's what's happening right now. So yes, we have looked at man, the provider, man, the protector, and man, the priest over his household. We look at the major role that men play in building societies and in order to continue the species. Some person has said we would have given ourselves over to a kind of thought that would suggest that we can survive on our own. You know, we are our own. We can survive on our own kind of approach. Like that approach is not necessarily consistent with what needs to happen. You know, that approach might not be consistent with what is to happen, and therefore, you know, it's important that we send the right message, not just to the all of the folks, not just to the middle-aged folks, but that we'll send the message to everybody who needs to hear the message. Yes, that is important. So we want the people to get the message. And the message must be this is the case. Yes, men, this is the case. This is not just a hearsay. This is not what people would want and desire. And I'm understanding that society will change. And I'm understanding that things will change. And I'm understanding that persons will have a different kind of, you know, thing going. But the bottom line is at the end of the day, we must remain who we are. We must remain true to who we are so that we will be able to fully accomplish that which we are to accomplish, that which God had set us apart to accomplish. Yes. Um. Yeah, man. So that is in the whole process. Yes. Um. And again, we have to push that kind of narrative. All right. Last week we said that we will look at specifically today as our first area of consideration. We will look at today some of the issue relating to the preparation. When you grow up, so we are men by virtue of the God have designed us to be men. But when we grow up, we grow into what we call manhood. Yes? And some persons, it is not necessarily an age thing, because some persons are very mature. They might not be as old as we are, but they're very mature, very responsible. So they have all the attributes of what a good man should be. They have all the attributes. They have all the attributes of manhood, and therefore some of them they are ready to take on. They're ready to take on a number of areas, a number of things to consider. Um, and we have to, of course, honor that kind of that kind of readiness, in the whole in the whole scheme of things. Yes. So we mentioned last week, and I think I mentioned last week that one of the funniest things that I have encountered, even in my growing up years, still, you know, see all these great years that mean something. Yeah. This is what I found. I found that for the job that I have, I would have gone to school several times. I would have passed through high school, and you know, then we went on to do additional studies. You know, we would have done the diploma, the first degree, second degree, and all these things. A whole lot of schooling. If I should add it up, the amount of years that I spent at school, for a job that I still think don't pay me sufficient. It's crazy. But in seeking to have a partner, what I find is that we never make any preparation for that. There was no preparation for that. There was no journalism magazine. There is no we call manual for that. And so what we have done is there is no manual for it, and hence we don't prepare for it. We see somebody, we say, okay, we're in love and all of these things, and then we take it from there, and that's it. How can that be it? How can we intend to spend the rest of our lives or most of our lives with a partner and we have done nothing nothing tangible to suggest that we would have prepared thoroughly for the encounter. Yes, we've done nothing. We say, okay, we went on dates and we had a discussion. Usually, when you go on dates, I have the discussion. That is, you don't even get a quarter of the information that you need in order to make an informed decision. And if you're a real man and men are driven by what they see, men are driven by their eyes. So if a young lady is very, very, very shapy and very good looking, and she have all the right assets in the right place, then guess what? Half of the things she's going to tell you, and she might tell you as a serious area of concern, you're not going to even remember because you will be, preoccupied otherwise. I'm the whole away. No, man, some more beautiful one alive. I come in here some comment. I say, Philip, but yes, Phil. I see that, Mr. Williams. I see that the cassava is very good. Yes, it's good for prostate health and so on. And we can get to that because that is part of the whole relationship thing too. So, send out people, for those who are here. I see some people viewing. Send out the link. The link is out. The link is out. So I want you to log on. I want to see the voices. You know what I mean? And I want to hear you do the dialogue. I need for the dialogue to take place so we can start moving the thing even further and further and further in. So I don't know of anybody who would have prepared. We would have probably done 2 sessions with a pastor counseling or 3 sessions with a pastor counseling, telling us how we should operate, what's expected of us as married people, and we think that is it. But then we are now married for 25 years, or we are married for 30 years, or we are married for 45 years. Did everything that we learned, um, impact or was adequate for the relationship that we are in? And I ask a question because the same number of divorce in the secular environment is the same number of divorce, are very close in church. So if there's 52% divorce out of all who married outside, it's the same reflection in the church. And what it says to me is that we are missing a link. We are missing something. If the people who claim and who say that they are God's people, they are Christians, they are followers of Jesus Christ, if those persons can't make it happen, then there is something fundamentally wrong. There is something flawed. There is something missing. And I want you to understand now, when there's something missing, the thing go awry. When there's something missing, the thing go awry. When there's something missing, what we find is that because of the new ethos, because of the new narrative, guess what? We just pack up and leave. And it's becoming more prevalent because the society is reorganizing itself. And many women who have attained great wealth and status and so on, they believe that they don't need nobody. And therefore, if something go wrong, if she's discontented about some matters, if she's not concerned about some matters, then guess what? She just pack up and leave. I know people who are not yet 40-year-old who would have married at least 2 or 3 times. And they need you see the thing is they say that they don't need nobody. I want you to listen, we just come out of International Women's Day, and I want you to read all the narrative, all the posts. I want you to just go on the green and go on the web, go read all the posts, go on Twitter, read all the posts. Many of those women don't mention not about the man, They don't mention not about the support of the family or the support of the husband or the support of this or the support of that. You don't see nothing like that. You don't see them saying that them had no support or them get no support, or them enjoy the support or the support. No, you don't see that. We understand that, boy, it's difficult, and it's a man's world, and we just have to try to break the glass ceiling, And that's all that you see. It seems like we have become competitors. Men and women were not designed to be competitors. They were designed to be partners in a cooperative that would continue to establish the God's kind of rule on earth. The Bible said that, listen, nothing was done on the earth because there was no man to till the ground. There was no man to work. There was no man to provide. There was no man to manage. We are co-regent with God. Let us, and I'm not getting religious, but I'm telling you how the thing is. And therefore, we have to start to re-examine some of the stuff. We have to start challenging societal norms as well, because the women have begun to challenge societal norms, and what they have done is to sort of tweak it in their favor. And I'm going to share with you right now 10 things that women desire from a relationship with man. And these are things that men should know. Let me say that again. These are things that you should know. These are things that you should know before you go in a relationship. All right? So, let me say finding a person is no easy task. Finding the perfect match. That is fundamentally a flawed thought. But we just want to put that out on the table. So, these three PhDs persons in various areas, and I'm going to read their names. Havel Hendricks, PhD, and Helen LaKelly Hunt, rather. She's a PhD as well. And she's a marriage and family therapist. Both of them are marriage and family therapists. Amy McMahon, she have a MS and a LMFTA, and she basically works with women. You understand me? And they basically do a study to try to find out what women are and should be looking for in the right man, in Mr. Right, right? And the first thing, remember, as I said, originally when God created man and woman, we worked together, and the working together was not necessary for love and for all the other fandangles that coming up. It was basically for survival. Yes, for the expansion of the species, and it worked very well. Men had his role, women had their role, and it worked very well. Women were thankful, and they extend themselves and ensure that their husbands were cared for, and so on and so forth, and that their children were brought up, in such a way that would they could become a productive part of society. Yes, but all of that has changed because there's more women now working than men, and women are working more than men. Women have actually captured a section of even the management structure. In Jamaica, I'm telling you, more than 70%, probably 80% of middle management and a part of senior management is occupied by women. They're making more money. They're more educated than us. Yes, they're more health conscious than us. They're doing all kind of thing more than us. While we sometimes just figure that we can just hang out and, yeah. No, the women have been pursuing what they believe to be their end goal, their right, their purpose in life. They have designed a thing, and based upon a particular narrative coming out of a particular era, they have basically positioned themselves to do something different. So, in all of this is what they're looking for in men. Now remember, the Bible says that man must love his woman. That's it. Yes, man must love his wife like how Christ of the church. It's a whole lot of love. And the women must respect their husbands, honor their husbands. Yes? So the emphasis is placed on two different aspects, but all of it come together to make one. Now, this is what we wrote, what they wrote out of their research in the 21st century. Chemistry. What they're looking for, chemistry. What is chemistry? Don't feel bad the next time you turn someone down because the chemistry just isn't there. What is chemistry? We didn't want to go into that. But the question was asked, do I feel energized when I'm talking to this person? These are the qualities that help to establish a foundation, to form a deeper connection and a relationship with this person. Chemistry. What is chemistry? I don't want to shut down again, but it's what they're proposing now It's things that we need to, for us now to connect now, we have to define what chemistry is, you know. But this is what they're looking for. They're looking for chemistry. Women are looking for vulnerability. It's difficult to build a relationship with someone who is closed off. A man who is vulnerable has a countercultural willingness to step away from the power position which men are raised to feel comfortable being in, Hunt says. All of these people assume, it's an assumption, but she's saying that men are in a poor position, and for women to want him, to find him attractive, to want to be with him, then he must be able to step away from his poor position. So they want to be vulnerable. It is countercultural because back then all women want a man who was strong, firm, can defend him thing. She don't want a man vulnerable. She want a man who, if a man step to him and deal the thing mad, that means it's either pop off him 6 pants off him waist and deal with it. That back in the cowboy days, I just go for my spear and my shield, I will deal with it. You understand me? But they don't want it to be vulnerable because they feel that if you are otherwise, then your position by itself would make them feel less of who they are. And in the same breath of vulnerability, they want stability. Stability. Yes. Stability means emotionally stable, not so flying off the handle, then economically stable, and also relationally stable. That's what they want. So they want stability. They want vulnerability, but they also want stability. They want equality. If you have ever felt less than or silence in a relationship, it might be because your partner wasn't treating you as their equal. The cultural discrepancy between equality that's been around for thousands of years, where women were unequal to men in every way, socially, economically, politically, sexually, that's changing. And now they want equality as well. They want equality. They also want a man with awareness. It's okay to want to influence, not change. So them say you must say, but you don't want to change your partner. Yes. So they want awareness. They want awareness. The majority of women already do this according to research, but it is not same for men. Being open to being influenced means the man shows awareness of his partner's emotion and needs and respond to them. They want emotional presence. That means someone who stays focused on the talker rather than looking at their cell phone or other distraction. But this goes both ways. A woman should be emotionally present too, while her significant other is being talked, is talking. No, and I tell you, the language coming out here is what we call politically correct language. So you're going to talk about partners and significant others, which is gender neutral. Because we're trying to facilitate some people who are non-binary and some people who do not think that we should reduce people to their gender. Yes, because they're much more than that. As a matter of fact, if they were much more than their gender, then some people would not seek to become a woman when they have nothing that makes them a woman. But nevertheless, that's what different discourse. But they want emotional presence. They want curiosity. You must be curious about them. You need to want to find out more things about them. It's important that you feel like your partner is interested in you. Yes. We tell couples to shift from judgment to curiosity. Instead of judging a person about their actions and what they do, be curious about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they must be curious about it. So, well, we're not going to get into that. Then we have protectiveness. Yes, women want to be with somebody who they feel safe with at all times. Yet they want to be vulnerable. How are you going to be vulnerable? I don't at the same time. These are people. Well, I can understand. It is time bound and time sensitive. But yes, they want protectiveness. They want to feel protected at all times, and they want to be accepted at all times. So if a man is trying to change you, then he isn't the man for you. Women should be looking for a man who isn't assessing them and constantly trying to upgrade them or improve them. But again, them don't understand that this goes both ways. This go both ways. But they want that. They want acceptance for who they are. They want assertiveness. You don't want somebody who doesn't ask for what he wants. It's one of the most important things that allows a relationship to thrive well. So you want a man to ask what you want, but yet say you don't want a man to influence you. Yet say you want to be accepted. You don't want to be judged. Yes, you want for assessment to become curiosity, so that we might find some common ground in it, and that's from one research. That's from one research. You have other research with more extensive, needs. All right, make a look at another one quickly. What do women want in a marriage? This is marriage.com. So we're looking at what they want in a marriage. This is two separate things, and we're going to cross-reference some of it so that we know exactly what we're talking about. All right. So the first thing woman wants, show her strength and weakness. Remember what we said earlier? The man must be, yes. So she wants both things. She wants strength and weakness. She wants strength and vulnerability. Yes. Then love is in the small acts, not necessarily in sexual thing, but she want the intimacy, because that's where she see loves. In the intimacy. Yes. And some of this is framed not by reality. Sad to say, it's framed not by reality. It is framed by other things. It is framed by other persons. It is framed by people who come up with the Mills and Bones story, which always have a perfect ending, and the gentleman always leave you and come back, with broad shoulders, six pack, bronze kind of guy, square chin, that clean cut kind of thing, very proper. Him know to operate in every circumstance and situation, and therefore him know to carry himself, him know to do what he needs to do. He's a perfect lover. He know how to touch her and this thing. So them want that too. Them want men who communicate. So if the man not a talkative man, them want you to become talkative. Yet say them don't want you to judge them, and them don't want you to change them. But they want to communicate. And I'm not complaining. We're just trying to look at both sides. Women want men to tune into their emotions and their words. That's deep, Tune into their emotions and their words. That come at the chemistry part. That's why I'm saying chemistry. Women want men to fight, not physically fight, but in a healthy way. I suppose serious discourse. And again, this is questionable, because this is coming out of North America. In Jamaica, no woman don't want the argument to them. Every time you say something to them and you disagree, then you quarrel. You don't have to be quarreling. But the fact of the matter, if you disagree, is a quarrel. So again, cultural disposition is different. But they want to have that kind of back and forth that would allow for, Never let her feel invisible. So she wants to have a presence all the time. And therefore it means that you have to be focused on her all the time. And it means that even in a situation where you have to focus on something else that may even impact her, it means that she wants not to be invisible. You would need to recognize her at all times. She wants you to renew yourself. So she wants you to renew yourself. So I suppose, like how we are changing careers now and all these things, late stage and things, we can do all manner of stuff. She wants that too. She wants you to renew yourself. Keep your skills and your relationship growing by trying new things together. It is one of the important things that's needed in a relationship. It could be taking a vaccine or a vacation to an exotic location, and undertaking an out of the ordinary adventure like kayaking and hang gliding. She wants that kind of thing. I guess these people never come to Jamaica. But the fact of the matter is, she wants that kind of thing. She wants you to renew yourself. She wants an adventurous man. She don't want somebody who would always rescue her. Yes, she wants a strong, but she don't want somebody who always rescued her. First things first, what the women want in a relationship is when she is complaining about some incident at work or any family drama, until or unless she asks for your opinion, keep it to yourself. So she wants to complain to you and just listen. She don't want you to rescue her. She don't want you to come tell her none. But she still wants a man to speak the truth. She wants a man to respect her. Yes? She wants a man to make her feel protected. Some of those are common to the ones that we said before. To make her feel beautiful. Yes? To communicate freely with her. Yes? Um, to share responsibility. Let me see it. To share responsibility. What do women want in a relationship? Someone who doesn't shy away from, but willingly accept household responsibility, from washing dishes, cooking food to doing laundry. She wants us to share responsibility. She wants to invest your time. Invest your time. Women need to talk. They need to express themselves to their partners. They feel connected with their partners when they spend time and share what they have on their mind with their partners. They don't necessarily want to respond to them. They just want you to listen to what they're saying. They want to be reliable. They want you to be thoughtful. They want you to appreciate them. And they want to express yourself. Some of those overlap. But these are research coming out of big research coming out of the United States, and I don't think it was like I don't think they use ethnicity to do this kind of research, but it's important to look at some of the things that at least correlate because because the nature of our relationship is changing based on societal norms, based on what the society is saying now. First time I own a woman washing clothes and them things, it was not a major deal. Women start to make it a major deal. And therefore, when them start to make it a major deal, it mean that man must wash clothes, that man must do this, that man must do that too. First time do man went out, man work hard, bring in the bacon, bring in whatever needs to be had, provide for his house, everything I need to provide for him house, and provide for him house. And that was okay. But as we develop, as we evolve, as people start to listen to new narrative, as feminism start to set in, some of these things change. But if you think about it, it changed. But the fact that it changed, we were not thinking, we were not hammering, we were not reading, we were not looking at, we were not part of that development. We were not a part of the talks that basically guide these outcomes. We were not a part of it. We were men. We were like over there, like over here. And let them do their thing, man. Women doing their thing, we doing our thing. And we never contributed to that. It happened in other areas too, but in relationships specifically, that's what we're talking about. So one of the things that we need to do our relationship is to look at, and I don't know, I wouldn't say that you just need to walk up to your wife and say, wife, say, oh, no, the 10 most important things to you. You can probably do that. There are some wives who will facilitate that. But I think we need to at least start with that, looking at the 10 most important things to a woman. No, I'm not suggesting by any stretch of the imagination that you accept all. Yes? But what I would suggest is that we have the discussion, is that we start to have the dialogue that basically frame our relationship with our spouse, with our wives. It's important. It's important that we know what she's thinking. It's important that we know how she is processing some of the things that's happening around her. And the fact of the matter is how we respond and relate to those things. How do we relate and respond to doing household chores? If you work hard every day, if you leave your home early in the morning and come back by 7 o'clock in the night, how do you operate in a situation where a woman feel that if she alone doing the laundry, although she may not have the time, yes, that she's being subjugated to something else or relegated to a second class citizen or something like that? How do we mitigate against that? How do we have the kind of dialogue that will allow her to understand that is not the case? So men, and you can put it in the chat, make us see what's happening. We need now to do some reevaluation. Some women are not as those who we would have read about. And if your relationship is not broken, don't try to fix it. If it don't broke, don't fix it. Yes? If it's working for both of you, work with what you have. But work with a thorough understanding that at no point in time you become anything else but the man that you are. And she will be nothing else but the woman that she is. Let me hear your thoughts on that before we go further. Yeah, man, type away, man. You can't type. Tick, 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 tick. You can't type now because you say, should me turn the language? Okay, you understand. Technical people. Yeah, man, let me hear your thoughts on that. Let me hear what your thoughts are. And let me know if you are taking the time to look into things like these before you got married, before you start to have a partner, whether it's a girlfriend or whatever. You understand me? No, not whatever. It have to be a girlfriend. Yeah, man talk straight. Like an arrow. Like an arrow. Yeah, so let me know. Did you consider these things before you start your partner? Before you pursued your partner, did you think about these things? No, man, me have to type. Sorry, sorry. Yeah. Did you think about these things? Important. Important. Did you think about these things? I would like to know. We would like to know. Did you think about these things? And I see in the chat, yes, women need love and man need respect, and that is true. That's a biblical principle there, right there. Yes, Sir Lewin, that's a biblical principle. And I think sometimes we're not doing sufficiently well in that area. But yes, and to be quite frank, we are actually doing poorly in another area because in where women need love and men need respect, in a number of areas you do not find the respect being reciprocated to the men. I find the way all people talk about men to be very degrading. And I find that society accept it. And that is part of the challenge I'm having. I find that society accept it. If you listen to anyone of who's considered the top DJs, yes? I know strange enough because where I work, there are a number of things taking place, yes? You understand me? What you find is that women degrade men. I have a good friend who is a singer, and she's a sing roots and culture. She never get no forward until she start degrading men. So my good friend Abigail, she started degrading men. She want a real man. She want a strong man. She want a long man. She want a strong man. Man can take a 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. Man have every money cause Ray. And when I want to watch her and these and watch the pumps and all these things. So a number of things taking place, don't? And a number of other women. You know, Spice is known for her raunchy, acts. But the fact of the matter, a number of her songs degrade men. A number of her songs degrade men. And we could go on. Aishana, a number of her songs degrade men. And men degrade women too. So let us balance it. So we don't want benefits at one side thing. And men degrade women. We see them as yeah, you know what I mean? But what is happening now is that the women are now looking at us like a piece of meat. Yeah, you are there for one thing and one thing only. Me have my own money, me have my own car. One thing me need to find. And boy, if you can't do it, me have a rare. Because the we are now being replaced by sex toys. To be quite frank, make a talk straight. Men are now being replaced by sex toys because of what is happening. And that is true, my brother. So you are having the conversation, which is good. But so the conversation we have to counter, and this is Sir Morgan. The conversation we have to counter, I say, what society is saying. And so we will say, okay, this is what the society is saying, but is that right? Is that the best way? So these are things you can talk about, Is it right? Is that the right way? I know that everybody doing it. I know people have said this. Woman have them own a thing, so woman can do anything they want. Yeah, fine, more power to you. You understand me? But is this the best way? Some women will tell them, oh no, want a sperm donor. Some women want you to get them pregnant and them don't want you to see that they don't want to see again in them life. Them don't want you to be a part of the child, the child who you sire, them don't want you to be a part of the child's life. And some women not only do it because them really don't care, them don't really need it, they must want it for that. But some women actually do it in revenge. If you and them have something and the relationship mash up and the divorce take place, they want to take away picnic from you, they want to take away everything. Then basically try to inculcate in your child that you are an evil person. The conversation and the issue and the conflict was not about the children, you know. It was about you and him or him and her. But the bottom line is when them finish, picnic gone, everybody gone is a separate thing, as if the picnic is not a part of you or it was not a part of them. And therefore I am suggesting that some of those things we must now counter those things with a kind of conversation that would allow us to have a deeper understanding as to who we are as human beings in a human relationship. And I'm not talking about alien foreign relationship. We're talking about heterosexual relationship. So conversation must take place. You must know at least. Listen, and this, as I said, my friend said that conversation is taking place. You must know what make her tick, and she must know what make you tick. Creflo Dollar preached a message many months, probably years ago, and he said, "What would you do as a woman? You see this man, you like him, he likes you. You've gone out on 2 dates, and you decide to have this relationship." And so we're gone over time already, but we're going to take about the next 10, 15, and then we wrap. Now, him said go to the woman house, and you see a whip, you see a chain with a collar, you see a piece of leather with a ball on it and a strap around the neck, you see leather clothing, you see handcuff, and you see a number of things. What do you do? Do you ask about those things? or do you turn a blind eye to those things? When you decide to come together, you don't ask a woman or the woman don't ask a man. So, how are you financially? We don't ask them that. Because we're so in love, we don't ask them that. If we got married now, where would we live? Do I go back to your mother house because you live on the outside? Do you take me back to your mother place? Or for some men now, when they do get married, they move into the woman's place. Do you think that that's a foundation that will stand for very long? I know relationship that mash up because the man says, my house. And I know relationship that mash up because the woman says, my house. You are not talking to this. How do we navigate that? We have to have the conversation. And before we enter into the relationship, as the man, as the provider and protector and priest over your household, you need to take some amount of responsibility to ensure that when you get married to a woman, you move into a space that is neutral. You move into a space because you are providing. You move into a space that both of you can have equal voice in. Lest you be tempted and let she be tempted. So those are things that you need to understand. How do we live? What kind of budget we need to live? If we're going to get married, the wedding is going to cost 200,000, 300,000. Well, at this rate, weddings costing over $1 million now because everybody wants the perfect wedding. She wants a perfect wedding, the perfect color, the perfect scheme, the perfect place, the perfect this. It must be a perfect day, right? And that's another folly. Because there's nothing perfect except God. So we need to understand that there's something will come short. But the bottom line is we need to work on what we're doing so that it operates in the way that we want to operate on. So all of those things must be, you must talk about these things. When we get married, what kind of money we're working with? How much we're going to save? What do we want to acquire? What do we want to accomplish? It's not that's about sex. Sex is good, and I'm not knocking sex. I probably don't get sufficient. But the bottom line is, it cannot be all about that. How much kids do we want? How much kids do we have? How will we educate them? Do we plan for them early, or we start doing the thing? Are we investor? Do we invest? Do we listen? How will we make more money? How will we retire when we are old? And don't take no foolishness from nobody, because some people like to talk nice. No, don't worry about that on it. Worry about it, sir. Don't listen. If a woman said don't worry about on it, you worry about it. You know why? When you're older and you can't provide sufficient for her, and you can't take a little vacation every now and again, you will hear say anybody plan right. You will hear say, listen, you're the man of the house. So you plan for these things, you prepare for these things. And if you love your wife like how Christ of the church, she will follow you far, 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 far. She will follow you. But you have to have your plan. You have to have a specific plan. You have to have the specific outcome. You have to have certain things in place so that she will basically feel good in following you, because she can see where you're leading her. So that you have to have a plan. So you can't get married, say you want a partner, get married, don't have no money, no plan, no nothing. No, listen, we need to stop that. But we in love. In love what? People fall in love, hurt themselves. Let me tell you the straight. When you fall in love, you hurt. Anytime you fall in, you hurt yourself. People decide to love each other. And then we make the plans that we need to make so that we can make a life together. So don't hurt yourself. And don't make nobody hurt you now. Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself. Tell truth, Mr. Morgan. Yeah, man. Hit dirt. You understand? We're not doing no dirt. Women need money to survive. Women need stuff. And sometimes you don't have sufficient, but if you share what you have and make sure that, bills are paid and nobody now come knock on our place, and the landlord now come and want to evict you because, paying the rent and all these things. You understand me? It's okay. You're building. You're building and you're moving in the right direction. But don't make nobody tell no foolishness. But no, baby, no, start worrying about it now. As a matter of fact, start dealing with it from now. And I tell you, there's a simple strategy that you need to employ. Whenever you are working and begin to work, if you don't have a partner yet, that is good and positive. What do you do when you don't have a partner yet? Save as much of your salary as you possibly can. It is not for you to go session after session, eat a Kentucky every day, every shingding, every Gemini, every weddy, every shampoo Wednesday, every dirt, bones, after you go. No, me not care what your friend them go. And every floss thing if you go. And everybody floss and you drink Hennessy. Listen, them a drink Hennessy, you go drink 2 core red stripe. That's what you can afford. Hennessy are $8,000 buckles. We are impressed. When you live the dance, we are impressed. When you live the dance, you live the dance drunk and broke. Stop impress people. So you have your plan. So you don't get a girlfriend yet, but you want a girlfriend. You start save some money. And somebody think me make mistake in because we grew up and we learn that, but after a while you have to sit down and do evaluation. Save as much as you can. Have a plan. Don't wait till you reach on you to start save. Start save from early. One man told me many years ago, he said, save 10% and pay yourself 10%. A man at NCB told me, I think his name was Ro. Save 10% and pay yourself 10%. Let the 80% pay for your light and water, because the 80% is not yours really. The 10% is for God and 10% and next 10% is for you. So him said, what do you do with the 10%? Anything you want to do with the 10%? Save the 10%. Invest the 10%. And I would suggest to you, no matter how little you get in that spare, try and save something. Try and save something. Most people spend what they have. They don't necessarily spend what they need to spend. Them spend what they have. So guess what now? So the more money you have is the more money you spend. Because it become a lifestyle thing now. Somebody used to use Colgate, now we start to use cold paste. Charcoal toothpaste. And while that might be good, guess what now? Why use the Colgate, brother? You don't reach charcoal yet. The man who can afford charcoal now use charcoal. So I tell you, so you save that, and you save, the saving become the foundation. You don't just save money, you save, and when your money reach a certain amount, you invest. Let me tell you straight. So you save money, and when you reach a certain amount, you invest. And you save again and a certain amount invest. You know why? You will never get rich by saving. Right now it's 0.02% for your money. That means you don't mean a sensitive in your bank. You just put them for safekeeping. Investment can turn your money 25%, 40%, 50%. So you invest your money and you make more money for your money. This is before you're married. When you're married, your responsibility now take a step up, and therefore your spending now will have to include that of the people who you live with your wife and your picnic and whosoever. You understand me? So the bottom line is you start save from now, you investing from now, you build a nice firm foundation. If anything happens, you can deal with it. Like my grandma said, if you're dead, nobody have to put a pan out a door for collect no money for bury you. If you're dead, you can bury yourself because your investment can carry you. So you save some money. Pay your 10%, pay yourself 10%. You understand me? And the rest take care of your business. Now, in your spending, I want you to think about it now. Now that you are doing this, you want to do this. How do you do this? You get a diary. A young lady taught me this. I can't find my diary. A young lady taught me this. She had very little money to operate, and she was at school. She was an international student, and this is what she did. She worked out her money that came when her mother sent the money. She worked it out, and she always had a little bit left at the end. She wrote out a budget every week. Every week she did her budget, and when she did the budget and she spent, he said she going to spend over, she dropped something. So if she going to buy 3 tin of mackerel and the 13 would carry over, she'd buy 2 tin of mackerel. You understand me? You should buy 3 tin of little corned beef, and she realized it would, or 14, and she realized it would take her over the edge. What she did, she buy 2 big tin, compress the price. And so what she did basically, when she finished, she clipped her expenditure on the week in the diary, and she did her maths. How much did she save? What should buy all what she need? When she wanted to do something, she planned from early. So she said, okay, all right, I can't do it this week, but at the end of the month, I'm going to buy myself a burger because a long time I don't go to Burger King. Let's go sit down and, shape my foot. And she would plan to buy her burger almost 3 weeks in advance. She did that for her entire school year, which is 4 years. And at the end of the day, she had a little nest egg. At the end of the day, she got there, she had a little something. She never leave school broke. Brought down nice and brought down look good. You understand me? She had a little something. And she said, some of the time what she had to do, when she got her money, she changed the money in Jamaican dollars. And then what she did was to put in envelopes. This was food for the first week. This is food for the second week. This is food. So I need rice and sugar if I'm going to make porridge. And sitting car porridge can last me 2 times. Listen, and so some of you will like to make talk about people I watch with. Let me tell you something. If you should have eat about American porridge your dinner today, but they're not going to know. Unless I tell them. Sunday is a day for cook 3-4 meat. Lie. That's a colonial practice. Go mash up a tin of mackerel and some white rice. The purpose of eating food. We're going to come down to the purpose now. The purpose of eating food is to kill hunger. It's not to boast yourself on people. It's not to say, I ate a T-bone steak, medium rare, with Tabasco sauce on it, done to perfection, with a little sprig of thyme and rosemary on top. That is not the purpose of eating food. We eat food for kill the hungry. We eat food for when it lick your belly to boom the worm them knock out. That's why we eat food. So I'm saying to you, we have to reorient your mind to do something. And that's why some people love cup soup. Say, cup soup, national dish. We think I can't salvage. Some people can't afford that can't salvage. I can salvage at $200 a dozen aki. And a quarter pound of salvage and $300. You know what's more than that? Right away they're on $500. Some people bring $500. Cup soup, a cheap cup soup that you look for. A cheap dinner that. Worst cheap cup soup and a bag of crackers. You know what hunger that killing, what worm gets slapped with that? You know what worm afraid of them things? Cause the soup warm and the pasta go on warm too, and if the cracker soft enough, so that beer and a coating are going down there. So we have to understand, so we have to redesign, reorient your mind. And I'm not saying that you must eat a T-bone steak, you know. Because there will come a time when you eat a 3, 4 T-bone steak. T-bone steak will come like a regular thing, man. Smoked pork, this, that, rare. You get anything you want. But the bottom line is, you must have a foundation that allow for you to be springboard to your next level. And how you do that? You do a budget. Consistently do a budget. You save. You save and do a budget. You invest. You do this from early. If I had done this earlier, I would be further ahead than where I'm at right now. Me can tell that if me did start this from long time, believe me, no for wanna know me, now hear about me. I learn this, and because I learn this, I have to start put this them thing in practice. So me make thing work. You have to start save from early. Don't spend everything you get. Some of you say, boy, we are spending time now, Antimo. No, no, Antimo, no. Don't eat the seed, brother. Don't eat the seed. You need something to plow back in your lives, plow back in your family, plow back in your thing. You need something to plow back into it. And therefore, let me encourage you. You're looking a partner. There are some things you don't have to talk about first. And the things have to be the serious things. The man, oh, your eye pretty. God over them have a real eye. So you have a real eyelash. You have to talk about the real thing. You have to say, hey, my girl, we are going on a date and you don't need to wear the eyelash. Because no man never left no woman because they don't have a long enough eyelash. I never hear a man say, girl, I'm not there because your eyelash is long enough. If you don't know of a woman who a man left her because her eyelash is never long enough, me need to see that man there because me give him a talk. I've never heard a man say, girl, me don't want you know, the eyelash not long enough. No, me never hear that. Or your eyebrow not shaped like the wing them, like no, me never hear that yet. So me I say to you this. So you have to have a serious conversation. Her needs, your needs. Anything when a center in a reality, them need for this and that need for cut off, we need to take a walk off of that. And then know after that, then we can start talk about the fact that okay, we have a foundation because I've been building this foundation for my wife. I've been building this foundation. I think it's Stevie Wonder who have a song about oh my God. All along I've been building my castle of love for two. Yes? Something like that. But I will remember that song. That song is a both piece of song. When you listen, you actually feel sad. Because he's saying that listen, for all his life, his entire life, he has been building this thing for two people, him and the woman of dreams. Whether or not him find the woman, probably still it's still a question. But the bottom line is you have to prepare for her. Don't take from nobody, and I'm saying this without any reservation. Them earn more than you, and them say, no man, everything all right. No, don't do that. You are the man. You must remember your place and your position in Christ. You are the protector, the provider, and the priest over your household. So don't let nobody take you from that trajectory. We can have the conversation, but don't let people take it. Listen, you must provide for your household. You must have a place to put your wife. And the place must allow for mutual voices to hear their concerns without fear of retribution. We must do that. That is what we are here to do. And we must provide, we must protect, and we must spiritually guide our women folks into where we want them to go. And not because we want to go there, but that's the best place for all of us to go. It's a collective. And sometimes they might want to go east when west is really the thing. But we have to have a conversation. And she must trust you sufficiently to understand that if you have a plan and your plan has been working and she has been benefiting from the plan that you have that is working, then the thing can go forward. And how you do that now, you start to look a budget from early, from the start work, before you start look, oh man, before you start running the panty. Yeah, you have to start this. You have to say, okay, me have a little strategy. You can't be no man, when we get, no man, we just want a little work, man, we just want a little side work. No. Too often we have wanted a little side work, and the bottom line is at the end of the day, the women are not employing us. If they're employing you and they're marrying you, then you don't have no talk. Let me tell you straight. If the woman who is employing you is the woman marrying you, you don't have no talk. She can fire you both ways. And I'm not telling you to live in fear, but I'm saying to you that as a man, you have certain responsibility. You have to deal with them responsibility. I'm not saying that sometimes it might not be hard and difficult and you might not be able to provide all that you need to provide or all that you want to provide. But you need to provide at least the basic things that would allow for her to be comfortable. All the other things are fluff. And from time to time, you'll be able to provide. You'll be able to provide a vacation. You'll be able to provide, even a 2 piece of Kentucky might not care to have nice fancy restaurant, where the waiter come and throw the thing over your lap and all these things and pour your glass of wine. But you can say, come and go have some fun, man. We go buy something and go to Hope Gardens or sit down on the grass, man. Drink a buckle of a non-alcoholic wine because we have to drive, come back. And we just chat and think. Play a little radio, them have a little radio thing here, plug in the thumb jar and play some nice love song and go on all a reason. Save your money, invest your money, and then you seek to have the wife that you want to have. Make sure that you have a budget, because even when you are married to her, you need to have a budget. Don't be like some people. Okay, me get 200,000 for my pay, so I can buy 200,000 a grocery. So all the light bill I got pay, all the water bill I got pay. You think our fridge can full of food and she not the water? She beg same way. How you never pay the water bill? How you never pay the water bill? You know what I'm saying? But you just buy all the grocery. We want water. We want water for beard. We might need water for beard. So we have to understand, say, it's not the amount of money you have, It's the strategy and the skill that you employ in spending the money that you have to provide for all the things that needs to be provided for. If you don't have a partnership and she says she buy the food, then you make sure the bills are paid. You understand me? So it works that way. But the bottom line is we must make sure that the basic and the fundamental things that are necessary and needed in the house is taken care of. Any questions? Real talk, Sir Bailey, bless up yourself, yeah man. And Sir Morgan, yeah man. So send your comments. We want to answer some comments, man. Because again, these are not things that people talk about. These are not things that our father taught us, If we want to be honest, these are not things that our father taught us. Last week, I tell you, my father was the first WWW, wine, weed, and women. That's what I say. Yeah, I love him to death. I was my daddy. You understand me? But I tell you something. These are the conversations that I wish I had with my father. These are the conversations that I wish my father said. Princey, when you start working, you need to start, you open an account, and when you open an account, you need to start do X, Y, Z, and you must be consistent in your saving pattern, because those are the things that basically on the rainy days, that's when you know you have a little something, when the rain starts fall. When some rain starts fall, some people wash and drown because they can't afford that even rough, not even a piece of plywood for float pan. You understand me? But you have to be able to do that. So those are some of the conversations that must take place. And if you decide that this woman is the woman for you and you want to be with her for the rest of your life, then some hard question must be asked. Some of the things you need to ask her too is, about our sexual appetite. Listen, you think a baby thing, as a partner, you choose your life, Her sexual appetite. What is that she likes done and Ray and T and Ray Tay? We don't want to get on the deep things. You have to do that too, because this is part of the preparation. Because she might want to do something that you don't want to and become a problem because she loved that, but you see that as freaky. Or you want to do something. Make a close with this. Let me close with this. Many years ago, a man told me a story about a prominent evangelist, woman, powerful woman in the church. It's not a man, it's a woman tell me a story. Who saw a young man in church and they had some chemistry. Women like chemistry going on. He was a little bit younger than her. She had grown all her life in the church. So, she's chaste. She don't know about nothing we are going to road. She don't know about, she don't watch them kind of movie there with the color blue and all these things. She fair thing focus. And they got married. Fanfare, Young boy look good in body, well built and sitting and thing, and she a woman of substance, you understand me? And on the night of consummation, the young man is there doing film thing, but because him is a street man, him all her by the throat. And she throw him off and start speaking tongues. I don't want to laugh, I know some man but this laugh, don't laugh. So she just ease him off and start speaking tongues and start cast out the devil all the time and call for the elders of the church to come over urgently. Elder, you need to come. Call the pastor. The demon let loose on the place. And after a lengthy conversation with the church on the night of consummation, they found out that it was not that the young man was trying to kill her, but just part of how he, when he's, yeah. She never did know that. God never asked a question. You see, some people feel you have a sample before. You don't have a sample before, but you have to ask a question. Ask the question, man. Ask the question. She never asked no question. Man, look good, she ready, cause a long time she have all of these things and him ready cause he was a street man, him find a nice church woman, chase like the driven snow, never touched yet. What? Him dead and gone to heaven. If he was a Muslim, I said, boy, him get 70 virgin as him wife and him gone to heaven. You understand me? But him have a little freaky thing about him have a little choking thing about it. You understand? I say, and she never know. Listen, bungarang. The relationship ding until and it never work out. Them never ask the question. That's the point me I tell you. Them never question each other. Them never seek to find out from each other. Listen, never go into a relationship blind, man. You for meet the family, man. You for the father, the mother, the sister, the brother, the auntie, the uncle, and the black sheep. Cause enough time them left out the black sheep, Find out because the black sheep might be the most terrible man now. If you go sleep, a man will come out yard and see the truth. You need to find out who the black sheep is. You find out about the family and things. So what I'm saying to men in general is, whilst I understand that we are driven by what we see, and the women are beautiful. Some of them are, of course, fake beautiful, but them beautiful. You know what I mean? Some of them take out makeup. They are gorgeous women, wonderful women, beautiful women. You understand? We're not talking about the fast eyelash and the two ton of paint and the ear from Brazil. So yeah, we're not talking about that. We're talking about people who beautiful, spirited women. And I'm saying, listen, while all that is there, all that is not the sum total of the relationship. After the wedding, and after all the honeymoon, the honey jet out of the moon, like when you got the honeycomb and squeeze out the whole like honey. When all that done, what you gonna do? Because love don't full belly unless you're pregnant. And you can still hungry when you're pregnant because two you eat for. So, the issue is, as men, spend more time preparing for your lifelong relationship. Don't take it for granted. No man should look good. Look good is not a criteria. Looking good is not a criteria. Looking good is icing after the cake done bake. Some of fact, it doesn't have to be the icing, it can be just a cherub on top, the embellishment. But we have to have the conversation, the hard conversation, the real conversation that will see whether or not the woman that you have chosen or the man that you are to be is the man who she wants and you want in her life. We have to do that. And that can't be willy-nilly. Sit down, pencil out, all the reasoning, and do the conversation. Yeah, man. For reason about the thing. So there are several men on this line who I know who have been married and who are, and they have wonderful relationships. And there might be some here who thinking about getting married and looking and moving in that direction. If you have learned something, if there's something here that you think you can take away, that's just wonderful, because that's what we are here for, to provide you with kind of information that you need in order to become the man that God created you to be. Man talk. Yeah, man. It's not even man talk, it's man cave. It's the reason in the cave where it takes place. So, we just that's why I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for lending your voice, and we still want some more. You can send up some more comments if you have something to say the thing, man. If you agree or disagree or you can add some value to it, type it in, man. We're waiting. We want to see it. We want to hear from you guys. because we want to be. It's not a monologue. As I say, sometimes we come. Some we don't want to be a monologue. And of course, in the week coming, you will see we'll put out the ad. So look forward to the ad. We're having a psychologist to look at mental health, men's mental health, what you can do basically to deal with those issues and how you can employ some strategies to minimize the stress. We understand that COVID-19, lack of job, lack of opportunities are impacting negatively on how on persons reckon or disposable income, men in particular, and that impact is family. It happened to women too, and impact the family same way because there's a whole single women household. But men in particular is what we're going to focus on. So we'll be having that gentleman. So you will see his name up and you will see his profile up, so it's a legitimate doctor that we're bringing in, so we can have a conversation about how to deal with mental health issues as men. It's a taboo subject because man supposed to be strong and not supposed to bother him. Yeah, he's a wild bull, he's a ram. So ram not to worry about nothing, just gotta do a thing. No, mental health is real. Mental health is real. The police force is just realizing that mental health is real. And when they have police on call 24/7, all over the place, trying to deal with the kind of carnage and murder and mayhem in the country, that it takes a toll on them over time. And they need a break. They need to go and deprogram themselves. They need to go and what them call it, debrief. They need to be debriefed and go through their own, exercise in order to de-stress and to relieve themselves of some of the great tension in there. When you come under fire from gunmen who have bigger gun than you don't think people going come under some serious pressure, man. So we are just learning about it. Not that we just learn about it. Many persons will have known about it already, but they don't understand fully that we must take time to deal with it. So even the government is looking at those things. So we'll be having a psychologist coming in to have the conversation with us, and we'll be happy if you can share. Remember, when the psychologist comes here, it's not just for me to interview him. There will be a question and answer session. So we are expecting you to ask some questions, to make some comments, and to contribute to the discussion as we go forward. We just want to thank the persons who are online right now for being in the man cave today. Again, if you have the time, just type something. Put up something. What was said today that you never know, or what was said today, that you are thinking about, and that you have you can deal with and you can add to. Sir Bailey says knowing is to be informed, which means ask questions and get answers from from early part of dating. And thinking and expecting means that you will be open up to surprise and disappointment, which is so true. You're so true. It's so true, Sir Bailey. You understand me? We need to do this early so we minimize the kind of surprises that may come, that might show us off significantly off our trajectory. Yes? You might have invested a whole heap in it too. Well, if you ask questions from early, then you know that would not have been an avenue that you would have walked on. So that too is important. Thank you so much, my good sir. Thank you so much. All right, if there's nothing more to say, we'll ask you to give a shout out. Tech team, thank you so much. Yes, if you have a story that you want us to, that can relate and you want us to tackle, share it with us so we can have the discussion, and that we can look at the different sides and the different issues involved, and then we can add some more light and some more experiences. Because nothing is written in stone, and nothing is carved out in such a way that each person can have a unique experience. And therefore, it's important that we look at those things. Yes, it's important that we look at those things. We just want to thank. I want to thank a number of persons who's online. I want to thank, of course, Sir Williams, Sir Philip Williams. I want to thank Robinson. I want to thank Sir Lewin, Morgan. Yes, Sir Bailey, Sir Clarence Beck. Real talk, hard points, but necessary to know. But I had to laugh about a lady from church and the street man. Yeah, man, that's a serious thing. And we say that job was a serious thing. They never ask a question. And it's just sad to say, because I think that if they had the understanding going in, then I think there would have been a different approach, and I think that the relationship would have lasted long. Because it could have, because he was coming to church, and it was, yeah, and she was in the church, so they could have helped each other to grow. You know, but I tell you, talking tongues and cast out the demons. You know what I mean? So stuff like that do happen, and it happens. Listen, probably more often than we know. But the fact of the matter is, that's why we say to people again, ask the question, ask the question. I'm going to share one quick thing before we we close. I read an article, and I showed it in church today. I read an article where women went to a seminar, a women's seminar about relationship, and a young lady said to the moderator, you know, she had a prospect, and the young man earns $100,000 a year. So she's wondering if she should give him a chance. And the moderator for the seminar that she was in, the person hosting the seminar, told her no. The woman said to her, no, you're worth more than that. And I suppose she took the advice and terminated the possibility of that relationship. When the research was completed, though, the woman who was doing the seminar herself never had a relationship with nobody. And the question was asked, then how could you allow for a woman who has no relationship with anybody, never had one, to advise you about the one that you want to engage in? The man wasn't rich. With 100,000 US a year, wasn't bad money either. And he was set to improve upon that based upon his career path and growth. And so therefore, why do you think that him marrying you is a purchase? Why you think that you are worth more than what? You are worth more than a man earning 100,000 US a year? Why? It's not a purchase they're making. We're going into a relationship, a partnership. We're going into a partnership where both persons, listen, God created man and said it was not good for man to be alone. So he created for a man a helpmate, a partner, to ensure that him keep on the straight and narrow, and to ensure that him accomplished all the things that was set before him. She was there to say, you know, you don't do that yet, or you need to do this, or you need to do that. She was there to assist him as well as he assisted her. And therefore it's not a purchase. So how come it become that you are worth more than that? So him can't go from 100,000 US to $1 million US a year. Him going to become a businessman and entrepreneur. Can you imagine if the end of that man was known before, what would have happened? And it just happened in Jamaica. But the bottom line is, at that time, they have said, boy, you know, if I didn't know. If I didn't know, it's not something that you need to be saying. And therefore, I beg your pardon, there's somebody here advertising something. So if not the bikes, it is see, the man is offering wedding services, you know, and all these things. So yeah, man. So let us go forward. Let us go forward. Let us help each other as men. Women help women, you know. Women have one open group, you know. Them have all kind of group. All manner of group that them have. Them have all manner of group that them share in. Black spot that them sharing. And all of these women, some of whom don't have relationship, are advising women with relationship how to operate in their relationship. There's a fundamental find that philosophy and system. Nevertheless, we say to men, we are here for you. We are here to share our wisdom, understanding, those things that we have experienced with you, so that collectively we can be improved and collectively we can become the men that God created us to be. Yes? Be blessed, and it's good to have you again. We salute all the men on the line today. We salute all of you. And again, it's the man cave, and it's a reason in the man cave. So we thank you for being a part of the reasoning. Be blessed. Our tech team will have this wonderful. Yeah, send your shout out, man. Yes, send your shout out. We want some shout outs from you. If you're bridging on the line, you know what I mean? Yeah. We want you to big up something. Anything you want us to talk about, you gotta type it in there now, so we can factor that in the next time. Bless it, Sir Bailey. Bless you, sir. Yeah, man. So give us a shout out, man. Yeah, man. Make you know what's happening, what's up, and how it's going to go, and we're going to go forward. And if that's been fruitful for you, let us know. Let us know. Jump, 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 jump. All right, all right. Before we close off, let me see the man them put up. Yes, if it was good, if you love the discussion today, and if you learned something, let me see. Let's type in the post. If you that's it. That's a wrap. Bless you all.